welcome to the Crazy Hat Chemist. So another video here on thermochemistry. Bam! So today, the thermodynamics equation. So important here for you. Let's get moving on this. Anyone want to become a doctor? Okay, what is the qualifying exam you need to take before getting accepted into medical school? Anybody know that? Here it is. It's the Medical College Admissions Test, otherwise known as the MCAT. So, why am I talking about the MCAT with thermodynamics equation? Because here is the thermodynamics equation that we're going to be using here. It is the qualifying exam, that's the Q, and it's the MCA, that's delta T. Okay, so Q equals MC delta T. It's the Medical College Admissions Test. I do realize that delta is actually not a but it's a D, but that's okay. Hopefully you got the point there. So Q equals MCAT. All right. It is the quantitative relationship between temperature change and the heat transfer, and that's what we're going to be talking about. Okay, so Q equals MC delta T. That is the equation. Okay, and so what we're going to do is we're going to substitute what is known here. So we're going to substitute in for delta T. We're going to substitute in there for TF minus TI. TF is the final temperature. TI is the initial temperature. So we're going to substitute that in there. Okay, and then we get Q is equal to M times C P, which is the specific heat capacity, times the change in the temperature, which is the final temperature minus the initial temperature. Okay, and these are the units of which we are going to be using here. So Q, the units of Q is heat, and that would be joules. The units of M, which is mass, is grams. The units of Cp, which is the specific heat capacity, is joules per gram degree Celsius. And the units of the change in temperature, or the final minus the initial temperature, is degrees Celsius. You should see that the degree Celsius cancels out, the grams cancels out, and you're left with joules. That is a heat. Okay, so Q water plus Q metal is equal to 0. So this is stating the fact that the heat of water plus the heat of the metal is equal to 0. So this is what happens when you take a piece of metal and some water and you dunk the piece of metal in the water. Then there is a transfer of heat provided that the temperature is different between the two initially. We can rearrange this equation and get rid of the 0 or move either the water or the metal to the other side of the equation with a simple subtraction, and then you will get this. Q of water is equal to the negative Q of the metal. What this is stating is that all the heat energy from the hot thing transfers that heat energy to the cool thing until what's happening? Thermal equilibrium. And that is when no temperature change is occurring and both objects are of the same temperature. Okay, so what's really important in this example is the final temperature is equal to the final temperature of both. That is, the final temperature of the metal and the final temperature of the water are equal to each other once thermal equilibrium has occurred. And that's when there is no more heat transfer. This is a very important concept when combining two things. Now this Q water plus Q metal equals 0 also works if I have two metals and I mix them together at different temperatures, or two amounts of water at different temperatures and mix them as well. Provided that they are at different temperatures, then this equation will hold true whether it's metal and metal, or water and water, or just liquid and liquid. They will transfer their heat energy until the hot object loses the heat energy to the cool object. And that is when thermal equilibrium occurs. That's why the sum is equal to 0, because their values are exactly the same number but opposite in sign. Okay, hopefully you got that. I am the Crazy Hat Chemist, and I got a crazy hat here for you. I'm not sure if it's really too much of a crazy hat, but everybody at my school will really appreciate this hat. If you love the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and please pass on my YouTube channel to anyone needing help in chemistry. I'd greatly appreciate that. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time for more cool chemistry videos on thermochemistry. Bye for now.